Greetings and welcome to STEM Inspired, where we utilize personal stories and experiences to interest the possibility of a STEM profession in adolescence. I'm your host, Jacob Zendejas. Today on the show we have a scientist. When they were younger, they made DNA jewelry, they enjoyed drawing and art, and they're a fan of Harry Potter. Please give a warm welcome to Ashley Walters.
Can you tell us your name and what you do for a living?
My name is Ashley Walters, and I work as a senior scientist at Eurofins Lancaster Laboratories.
Okay, interesting. And what is it like to go to work?
It's exciting. I think one of the best parts about my job is that every day I'm learning something. And even when I'm interviewing candidates, people always ask, what's the favorite thing about your job? And I can very honestly say I love it because I still feel like I'm a student who's always growing and learning. Really love that about my job.
Okay.
It's inspiring. I do a lot of liquid separations. So I work with proteins. They're called antibodies. They work with your immune system in your body. It's what helps you when you're sick. So I'm trying to separate them from whatever solution they're in using other solutions and pressure. And the simplest way I could think to describe it is, it's called chromatography, and that literally translates to separation of color. Granted, what I'm doing is not separating colors. If you've ever had a marker and dabbed it on a paper towel and spilled some water on it, and you kind of see it separate and cool and grow, and you might see green or something separate into yellow and blue, might pull out from that green spot that you initially made. So that's kind of how you can think of what I'm doing in a simple way.
And what is the best part about your profession?
I mentioned it, that I'm constantly learning. I also really like the people I work with, particularly at my company. I like that I learn every day. It's always new and interesting. Science is constantly changing and growing, driven by new technologies.
What is rewarding about your profession? Do you have a personal connection with your profession from your experiences in your childhood to what you do now?
My childhood, there's an instance of being in science class in, I can't remember if it was 7th or 8th grade. And that's when we started learning more about if you're taking an actual biology class or chemistry class or a section as a part of the bigger science class. I just remember being so fascinated. We were making DNA jewelry and learning about base pairing, and we were learning about it by making jewelry. And I just thought the jewelry was really fun to make, and I was wearing DNA jewelry, which today I would love a piece of DNA jewelry. Please get me a pair of DNA, double-stranded helix earrings. It definitely comes full circle when you're realizing you're helping everyday people. It could be your mom, your dad, your neighbor, your little brother, your little sister, anybody who's related to you. Medicine affects everybody. It's in everybody's lives. What I'm doing every day in the lab, trying to help ensure that we're putting out safe medicine, I think that's really impactful.
And so when you were younger, around 8 to 14, what did you imagine you would do for work?
My 8th grade yearbook, I pulled it out recently in my move. So I literally wrote in my, what do you want to be when you grow up? That I wanted to become a lawyer and then a Supreme Court justice, which I'm not. The thought of a lawyer right now is not something that interests me. I don't like confrontation arguments. I'm happy that I'm not doing that, but it's funny. Looking back at my job history, I've cruised through my journals. I mentioned science really anywhere. It's mostly boys and stuff. Teenage kid going through those awkward stages. Keep the journals, guys. They're fun to go through. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She did do some wallpaper contracting jobs throughout her life. And my dad had worked, he actually started as a coffee machine repairman, and that somehow morphed into being a computer engineer, I guess. Yeah. Wow. So from him, I get a little bit of science in our family, but his job was very, I would say more technical, hands-on. Actually, my first job was interning at his company, and on the electronics manufacturing floor, like there's some really big machines with a lot of big moving parts where you probably don't want a small kid running around who wants to touch everything they see.
Be coloring the machines.
Yeah, exactly. I probably would have actually still colored to this day. So
Really?
yes, I enjoy coloring.
Is that a hobby that you've had since you were young?
Yeah, I've always enjoyed art coloring. Forget when I was asked, but it was sometime in college, and it's kind of a question that threw me off guard. Like, if you weren't doing what you were doing today, so studying to be a scientist, like if I wasn't doing that, money didn't matter. I would have gone into art. I've always enjoyed sketching and drawing and coloring. Yes, I do enjoy working with my hands. I do that in the lab every day.
What is it about art that just really enjoy it?
It's creative. Sky doesn't always have to be blue. Draw whatever color sunset you want. If you want your sun to have a smiley face, it can.
Yeah.
That's kind of what draws me to art. And I like when I sketch, I just like capturing a moment. Like, this moment's really beautiful, and, I just want to capture and sketch this moment as I see it. It's relaxing.
Do you see a connection between the passion for art and the passion for science?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's creativity in science. You're asked to come up with creative solutions during your workday. So, like, if I'm working at my instrument and it decides to stop working, I need to figure out how to fix it. And sometimes it's been a little bit more creative than others. Literally sticking some tissue paper to stop a leak, or sometimes I have to really get in there, and I equate it to being a plumber. Some days I feel like a plumber because a lot of it is like plumbing. You're dealing with liquids going through tubing, so you're always trying to stop the leaks, prevent the leaks, and get in there with wrenches to make the connections tighter.
And what advice would you give to children who would like to enter a STEM profession?
I'd always say follow your passion, because if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, because nobody likes to work. You definitely don't want your job to be a chore. And I definitely don't feel that when I wake up every morning that I'm going to my job. I feel like I'm doing something I love, and I'm excited to drive to work every day.
Say there's a child that seems interested in science, but they see it as a big challenge. What's something you would tell them to either persuade them or to reassure them about science?
One, don't give up. I can say that I actually struggled significantly with math, and math is definitely, sciences are math heavy. We use a lot of math to get through the coursework, and I do use math every day at my job. I wouldn't say it's terribly challenging math, but having a good understanding is good. Overcoming my struggle with math, I did that by seeking out resources. If you can ever find a tutoring opportunity that's free, you go to your teachers and ask them for help. And that's how I got caught up. Is I had an awesome teacher in 6th grade who had after-school tutoring, and I told my mom I need to do better because I was doing horrible in my math class compared to, I guess, the bottom of my class was really bad. But I actually ended up graduating valedictorian at the end of middle school when I initially came into my middle school career at the bottom of my class. So, just a lot of hard work, a lot of extra studying. And if you struggle with math or science, Khan Academy is amazing. They have the best YouTube videos. I still watch them to this day. With anything I want to look up.
And so the story where you said it was 6th grade when you were at the bottom of your class, and then you moved up to valedictorian. Was there something that your teacher told you or anything that really just kind of made that shift? Because that's a big shift from...
I honestly think it was Harry Potter that did it. Yeah, I mean, I think Harry Potter kind of spoke to me because I came into 6th grade. A lot of the kids in my 6th grade class had gone to school together throughout, like, kindergarten through 6th grade. So they're all, like, best friends. And I had just moved from a different state. I moved from Oregon to California in 6th grade. And I think Harry Potter just really spoke to me, and, he was kind of an outcast in the book, and, I think he struggled in Professor Snape's class. Granted, I didn't have any teachers that I saw like Professor Snape, but I definitely had struggles or sort. And Harry Potter had a lot of magic on his side, but that'll get you.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed our program. STEM Inspired is a project of BC STEM Ventura County's cross-sector network to improve educational outcomes in the STEM fields from early learning to career. STEM Inspired is generously funded by Arconic. Innovation engineered. Please join us next time as we continue to dive into the lives and experiences of STEM professionals. As always, I'm Jacob Zindahaz. Discover new things. You never know when an interest can become a passion that can change the world. This has been STEM Inspired.